Welcome, yogis, and thank you for joining me on your next edition of Okaiyoga, your home yoga practice. Let's find a comfortable spot on a block, on your mat, maybe sitting on a block, sitting up on a blanket or a towel. Cross your legs, find a comfortable seat. Welcome yourself to your practice. Today's practice will be a gentle Hatha Flow with lots of twists. In twists, we're compressing the muscles, releasing, compressing the muscles, compressing the organs, releasing. So it's always a good idea after, especially a twisty class, to drink extra water to really help flush out the toxins of our bodies. Even if you're like me, outside today where it's a little bit cooler, you may not think you need the water, but extra water after yoga practice is always a great idea. Let's softly close our eyes, take a quick inventory of your mind, your body, your emotions today, how you're feeling. Recognize that, accept that, be fine with that. Whatever's happening in the world around us will be there an hour or so when we get off our mat. This is your time to heal, your time so that we can be better in the world around us. So I'll take a deep inhale in through the nose, open our mouth and sigh it out. Another deep inhale in through the nose, pause, open our mouths and sip in a bit more air. Hold, and exhale it out our mouth. Let's do that again. Deep, deep inhale in through the nose, filling our lungs completely. Close our lips, pause, open our mouth, sip in a bit more air. Hold for 8. Open our mouth and sigh it out. One more time, deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth, sip in a bit more air. Hold. Relax our shoulders. This time exhale out the nose. Next inhale in through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. You may hear that whispering wind, sound of the air going in and out our nose. This victorious breath, Ujjayi breath. It's your gauge as we move through our practice today. If we start hyperventilating, holding our breath, it's a sign for you to back out of the pose. In this and every class, child's pose is calling your name. The brave yogi is the one that stops, takes a moment to regain our breath, and joins the class or the practice, makes the pose an adjustment in the pose to make it appropriate for you today, how your body's feeling. Take a deep, deep inhale in through the nose. On the exhale, let the chin fall down towards or maybe even to the chest. We'll inhale our right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, chin back towards the chest. On the inhale, the left ear moves towards the left shoulder. Chin to the chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to the chest. A couple more times each side. Awakening our cervical spine. Finding stillness. On the next inhale, the chin rises up. We're going to take our right hand extended out along our mat. We're going to go as far as we can go while still maintaining a connection between our left sits bone and the block of the blanket. So we don't want to be falling over, we want to be reaching. Creating extension here, draw the right shoulder back on the back. Make sure that left sits bone is pushing down. Lift the left hand up first, then over for this nice side body stretch. We're creating space between each rib, the intercostal muscles, allowing our lungs to work more efficiently in the practice. There's more room to bring in more oxygen, create more oxygen-rich blood for our body. Imagine you're pushing the left side body towards that side of the mat, creating a little more extension here. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, take the left hand out in front of the right thigh, right knee. Inhale your nose away from your knee. Reach further. Imagine the crown of the head's reaching past the knee, even if it doesn't go that far. Draw the left sits bone back into the block. Another inhale here. On the exhale, maybe we sink a little bit lower. The mid-back is moving away from the head. The head's moving away from the back. Take a deep inhale. Open up. Reaching up. Draw the bottom shoulder on your back. Maybe we look up towards that top hand. A couple deep, juicy breaths here. Feel that left side body still moving towards the left. The left sits bone still connected to the mat. Maybe the fingertips really push, activate on the right hand. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, the left hand floats down to the mat. The right hand floats up. Extend the left hand out as far as possible while still maintaining the right hip into the block. Reach the hand up, extend the fingertips away. Feel that opening of the right side body, that space between each rib opening up. The top elbow goes back, the fingertips reach towards the top of the mat, the sits bones connected, side body moving towards the back of the mat. Take another deep, deep inhale here. And on the exhale, reach the right hand away from the left knee. Draw the mid-back behind us, the crown of the head, away from the back. Reach those fingertips longer. Push the left fingertips into the mat. Feel both sits bones on our block. 2 deep breaths here. First side stretch in our practice today. And the next inhale will open up. Draw the bottom shoulder on our back. Reach the top hand up. Then you might find more space to reach even further away. Draw the right side body towards the back of the mat. Turn our gaze up towards that inner elbow. Push into the bottom fingertips. Draw the shoulders away from our ears. Activate your pose. Continue to breathe. Reach that top hand up. Back down to the ground. Roll our shoulders up and back. Pause. Welcome to our practice today. I'm so glad you joined us. Our pranayama practice will be anulom vilom, or alternate nostril breathing. For alternate nostril breathing, raise your right hand, make the peace fingers, draw the peace fingers down. We're going to be using our thumb and our ring finger on the right hand. We're going to use the thumb on the right nostril, ring finger on the left nostril. In the middle, we're going to hold both nostrils closed to engage in alternate nostril breathing. We'll all take a deep, deep inhale here. Place the right thumb on the right nostril. Exhale out the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril deeply, filling our lungs completely. And then close with our ring finger for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the thumb and exhale. Inhale, thumb side nostril. Close the thumb and hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the ring finger, exhale. Same side, deep, deep inhale. Close the ring finger, hold for 8. Open the top, exhale. Inhale, right nostril. Close the thumb. Open the ring finger, exhale. Inhale completely. Close the left finger, hold. Open the top, exhale. Place the right hand on our right thigh and sit quietly for just 15 seconds. great job finding stillness. Anulom Vilom can be used anytime you're approaching a stressful situation. Maybe it's a meeting with your boss, maybe you're just feeling your heart racing. If you want to lower your heart rate, calm down, this alternate nostril breathing is a great tool you have in your yogi toolbox to lower your heart rate, calm your heart, calm your reactions. Let's all come forward into tabletop. In tabletop, our knees are hip distance apart, slightly beyond our hips. If you have a blanket or a towel, now's a great time to put it under your knees if you'd like a little bit more cushion. Shoulders directly above the wrist creases. Tuck the back toes. Let's articulate our cat. We're going to, from tabletop, take cat-cow, articulating from the bottom of the spine. So on the inhale, imagine our tailbone rises, belly drops, chest waves forward, chin slightly rises. Then on the exhale, tuck our tailbone, draw the navel towards the spine. Our gaze starts to come down towards our thumbs. We're looking underneath our belly button, towards our knees, back towards our hip creases. And then inhale forward again, articulating the spine. From the hips, the belly drops, heart waves forward. Exhale, draw the sits bones down, navel towards the spine. Gaze starts to look between the thumbs, under our belly button, towards our knees. 2 more times on your own, connecting breath to movement, slow, purposeful movements. After your second time, let's all meet up in tabletop. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, open the right hand up towards the sky. Nice twist. Our right hip may want to jut out. Can you draw it back towards the left side of the mat? That may create a little more space to reach the top hand up even higher. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, swoop the right hand down, coming down all the way onto our shoulder. Maybe our head goes off the ground, maybe it comes to the ground or to a block. Draw the right fingertips away, the shoulder or more underneath us. Breathing 2 deep breaths here. The next inhale will float those right fingertips back up towards the sky. The exhale, the hand comes down right below the right shoulder. Let's take the other side. Inhale, left hand out, then left hand up. Draw the hips back in line with the front of the mat. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, float the left hand down, threading the needle, coming down onto the left shoulder, the left side of the head. You walk your hand out, may feel really good. Maybe you walk your fingertips out in front of your head, really feeling that side body stretch you've already started to open. 2 more deep breaths here. Drawing the right hand underneath the right shoulder, opening up a lot. The left hand rises. Exhale the left hand down. Walking our hands out, let's all push up and back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walking our dog, a lot of dogs wandering around our yoga class today. Bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg. Do whatever motion really feels good to you right now in your body. And then let's find stillness in the pose. Activate your downward facing dog. Spread the fingers very wide, especially the thumb and index finger are really pushing through the mat. The bottoms of the knuckles pushing into the mat. Imagine our biceps rotate forward. Our gaze is looking back at our toes. If our feet are flat, maybe we step our feet back a little bit. Put a little bit of a bend in our knees so we can curl our sits bones up towards the sky. Push into the palms, activate. Then straighten the legs, lowering the heels towards the mat without locking the knees. Push into the hands a lot. Puff out the back so the shoulder blades move away from each other and draw our shoulders away from our ears. Breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. Maybe to warm up, if you're a little bit chilly like I am outside today, we'll go from, let's take 5 rounds of moving from downward facing dog to plank. Just create a little bit of heat, a little bit of warmth in our morning flow or afternoon flow, whatever time it is for you. We'll inhale forward to plank. Maybe our shoulders draw just slightly in front of our wrist creases, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Push up and back, exhale, downward facing dog. You can be on your knees if that's more comfortable for you. Make it your practice. This is the 5th one. Navel's moving towards the spine, heels moving away from the head moving away from the heels, pushing down into our mat. Super strong plank. You're always welcome to come down to your knees. Let's come down to forearm plank. Forearm plank, the elbows directly above the shoulders, heels moving back in space, navel moving towards our spine. Pelvis curling down, pushing those forearms into the mat. Maybe we pause here for 15, 20 seconds. If your arms are already starting to shake, that's okay. Just come down to your knees. Sinking back into child's pose is always an option. Coming back up onto our palms, let's walk our hands to our feet at the back of our mat, standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Letting our head hang heavy, swaying gently side to side. There's another option for a twist here. So we're going to bend our knees a lot. It's almost like we're coming into a really low chair. Can you bend your knees so much that your elbows are near elbows, your knees plug into your armpits? Let your head hang heavy, no tension in the back of the neck. If we're sitting so low, if we sit even lower, it's easier. A little further back, make it easier. Grasp opposite angles. Pausing here. Relax the back of the neck. Using the left knee as leverage, we're going to keep the left armpit in the left knee. Inhale the right hand up towards the sky and another twist. We're going to start to rise our hips up so the right leg starts to straighten. Some people's will completely, mine won't. My left knee is bent. I'm using that leverage to lift higher up and back, stacking my wrist above my shoulder. I'm looking up towards that thumb. After a couple breaths, maybe the hips rise even ever so slightly higher. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose the whole time. Take a deep inhale here, reach higher. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the left ankle. Plug the right armpit into the right knee. Hold on with the right hand to the left ankle. Take an inhale, float the left fingertips up towards the sky. Start to straighten the left leg. The right leg's bent a little bit more, definitely, than the left leg. Open up that top hand, reach higher back, turn our gaze up towards that hand. Maybe our hips float up even higher. Using that leverage, that knee, that right armpit. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, reach even higher, and on the exhale, float the left hand down. Come back to a traditional standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Maybe now both hips float up even higher. Nod our head gently, yes. Shake our ears side to side, gently, no. Drag our fingertips across the top of our feet, front of our ankles, front of our shins, circling the hands up towards the sky. And exhale our hands to heart center, finding your expression of Tadasana today. To warm up a little bit more, we'll take 3 rounds, Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. I like to use the blocks if you have those handy to start getting used to floating our hips up quietly, softly to the front of the mat. The first round will take a little bit slower to activate the pose. So have your blocks on their lowest setting if you're using blocks. You can use ground if you don't have blocks, not a problem. Circling the hands up towards the sky. On the exhale, the thumbs are touching, palms open, because on the next inhale, we can reach even higher, creating more space in our spine. Bend at the knees, pivot at the hips, standing forward fold, Uttanasana, inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, reach down to the blocks or the ground, stepping back to plank, top of the push-up. Push the ground away, lower down slow, elbows move towards our spine. We're gonna pause here for a moment, lift up our right foot, draw that right toenail, right big toe back behind us, then place the top of the right foot down. Lift up the left foot, draw that left toe back, then place the top of the left foot down. Push into the tops of both feet, so much the knees come up off the ground. Draw our pubis into the mat, move the elbows back towards our spine. Lift our nose just 4 or 5 inches off the ground for baby cobra. Tuck our toes, push up and back, downward facing dog. Catch our breath here, in through the nose, out of the nose. Bend the knees a lot, draw our shoulders above our wrist crease. Bend the knees even more. We're gonna push into the balls of the feet and our palms with equal pressure so that our hips want to float up, forward, silently. Find a standing forward fold. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. Hips come forward, chest lifts up, palms go back. Exhale, hands to heart center, and release. We'll take 2 more rounds. Surya Namaskar A. You can follow along with me or take it at your own speed. Circling the hands up towards the sky, palms open, thumbs touch, standing forward fold. Halfway rise, reaching down, stepping back to plank. Push the ground away, activate the pose. Scrape the rib cage with the elbows, point the toes. Medium cobra, downward dog. Pause for an inhale, pause for an exhale. Drawing the shoulders forward, floating the feet quietly forwards. You can step, walk, or hop forward, yogi's choice. Hands come up, hips come forward. Hands to heart center, and release. One more time. Standing forward fold, halfway rise, plank, cobra, downward dog, hop, walk, or float our feet forward, standing forward fold, halfway rise, standing fold, hands to the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart center and release. Great job, yogis. Feeling warmer, feeling that heart rate coming up. Great job. Moving on. Another twist in our future, circling the hands up. Open the palms towards the front of the mat. Reach even higher. Bend at the knees. Pivot at the hips. Standing forward fold. Halfway rise. Reaching down to the block. Stepping back to plank. This time up dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Up and back. Downward facing dog. Float the right heel up towards the sky. The right foot comes forward. Separate your left foot so we have a nice wide foundation for easier balance. Our right hand can be on the ground, it can be on a block, it can be up on fingertips. Square our hips towards the front of the mat. Inhale, exhale, twist, reaching that top hand up towards the sky. Draw the right hip back in space. Activate the back leg, lift the back hamstring towards the sky. The back heel moves towards the bottom of your mat. Nice juicy twist here. Maybe we turn our gaze up towards that left thumb tip. Take a deep inhale on the exhale. The left hand floats down, the right hand floats up, reaching higher, opening. Back leg still active. Heel moving back, hamstring up. There it is. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, float the right hand down. Maybe we draw the back foot in, half a step. Walk our hands up onto that front thigh. Start to bend and straighten the front leg on high runner's lunge, crescent lunge. Back heel is above the back toes. The front knee doesn't come forward of our front ankle. Bending and straightening that leg. Finding stillness. If you like a little bit more, you can lower and raise that back knee. Playing with our balance. Playing with our foundation. Pausing, cactus the arms, shine that light that exists within each of you up towards the sky, greeting your day. Reaching the hands down, stepping back to downward facing dog. Float the left heel up towards the sky, the left foot comes forward. Shifting the weight into, or separate the feet so we have that nice, wide, firm foundation. Draw on the ball of the back foot. Shift the weight into the left hand. Float the right fingertips up. Activate that back leg. Open further, reach higher. Deep breaths in through the nose, out of the nose. Take another deep inhale here. On the exhale, float the right hand down. Shifting the weight into the right hand, the left fingertips float up. Don't let go of that back leg. Gives us the leverage to open our chest. Another juicy twist. Reach even higher. Exhale, float the left foot down. Draw the right foot in, half a step. Crawl up, finding crescent lunge on the opposite side. Just the back foot. Heel is above the ball of the foot. Bend and straighten that front leg. Hips are square towards the front of the mat. Elbows drawing back towards each other. Pausing. Waiting here. And lower the back knee all the way to the ground and pause in a low runner's lunge. It's an option. Or you can raise and lower the back thigh towards or even to your mat. Next time we rise, let's pause here. Cactus the arms. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Lift our sternum up towards the sky. Activate the back leg. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, float the hands down to the block. Stepping back to plank, top of a push-up. Push the ground away. Finish a vinyasa. Up dog or cobra. Hips go up and back. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees a lot. Draw the shoulders over the wrist crease. Float, hop, or walk forward. Halfway rise, standing forward fold. Circle the hands up towards the sky and exhale our hands to our heart center. Great job, yogis. I think we're feeling warm now, ready to move on a little bit more in this flow. Another sun salutation, A with a diversion. Circle the hands up towards the sky. Open the palms, reach higher, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, reach down to our blocks or the ground. Lower down slow. Up dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Up and back, downward facing dog. Just float our right heel up towards the sky. Right foot comes forward, left foot spins out 45 degrees. Feel the pinky toe edge of the left foot make contact with the mat. Then slowly rise into warrior one. In warrior one, again, the front knee, we'd rather not go in front of our front ankle. A wider stance may give us more stability. Our hips are moving towards the front of the mat. If they don't, both hip points don't face forward, that's fine if they're open a little bit to our left. Bend and straighten the front leg. Should feel just a little bit different, a little bit more grounded. than our crescent lunge because we're holding on to that back foot. The back leg is very active, providing stability. Exalted Warrior, it's another twist, this variation. The left hand goes forward, the right hand goes back, reaching across our lumbar spine, or maybe even towards the left thigh. It's a big twist. If it's too much, we can always back up. If we're here, take a deep inhale, reaching, filling the lungs with air. The heart lifts up, top hand reaches up and then back. Pushing into each foot will provide more stability. Bringing both hands up. Warrior one. Bring our hands to our chest. Then reach down, placing our blocks on their highest setting. Reach the back leg up and find Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Imagine our hips are level. The left hip has a tendency to open up, so lower it down. Super strong standing leg. The leg is active yet not locked. Hands in a modified version of Warrior 3 can be on the blocks in the highest setting. The back leg is active just like it was in your standing poses, the heels moving away, the thighs lifting up, the toes are pointing down towards the ground. Draw the shoulders away from our ears, the head away from our hips. Maybe one thumb comes up to our sternum, maybe both thumbs. Maybe we become that flying spear coming from the fierce warrior. Maybe their hands are out like an airplane. Play along, play with the different variations, the versions. Maybe the fingertips come together representing the tip of the spear. Bring both hands back down to the blocks. Place the right block on its lowest setting, about 45-degree angle away from your right pinky toe. Place your hand flat on that block. Bring your left hand to your hip. You can stay here for a modified half moon pose. We point the left toes away from us. Imagine the left thigh is reaching up, the left heel is reaching away. The top hand opens up. We've been doing a lot of twists. Should make it a little bit easier this morning. Don't lock the standing knee. Our gaze for extra balance is looking down at our foundation hand. If you'd like to play with your balance and start to turn your gaze towards the center of the room, maybe you wobble, maybe you fall, no big deal. Maybe turn our gaze up towards that top floating hand. If you have this in your practice and want to take it a little further, maybe you bend the floating leg, the floating knee towards your face, reach back, ground the foot. Extend the leg, push the bottom hand into the ground. Deep back bend. Wherever you are today is perfect. Let's lower the left hand to the block, left foot to the ground. Feel that burning in your glute a little bit. Standing forward fold, halfway rise, floating down, standing fold. Circle the hands up towards the sky, and exhale our hands to our heart center. Release. Let's take it to the opposite side. Circling the hands up towards the sky, open the palms forward, hips forward. Standing forward fold, halfway rise. Let's reach down, stepping back to plank. Lowering down, up dog or cobra, up and back, downward facing dog. The left heel floats up towards the sky. The left foot comes forward. Right foot opens out 45 degrees. Find a nice foundation. Works with your hips, your body today. Feel and grip the pinky toe edge, the back foot as we rise. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Bend and straighten that front leg. Hips can be pointed towards the front of the mat or slightly open. You'd like to take our variation of Exalted Warrior, Reverse Warrior, reach the right fingertips even higher. Take your left hand either across our lumbar spine or reaching back for the right hamstring. Reach the top fingers up. Maybe we reach back gripping the ground with both feet. Exalted Warrior. One more deep breath here. Float the left hand up. Bring our hands to our sternum. Reach down, find our blocks, put them on their highest setting, step forward, and play with Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3, what works for you. The back toes, look back, point them towards the ground, lift the hamstring up, the heel moves away from us, just like in our earlier poses. Maybe we bring one thumb to our sternum, then place the hand down. Taking baby steps, building up our balance ability. Maybe both hands come to the sternum, super strong standing leg, super active flying leg, up and away. Maybe the fingertips come back, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, flattening the back, reaching the fingertips out. Maybe they come up to make the tip of that spear. Moving in to half moon on this side. I like to have the block in the lowest setting, 45 degrees from my left pinky toe. Start to shift the weight into the left hand. Lift the right hand up, point the right toes away from our body. Lift the side of the thigh up, the heel away. Open the shoulders even more. Easier balance looking down. Adding a challenge, looking away from our body. We open that top hand even higher. If you played with it on the other side, maybe you tried on this side to reach the back foot. It's easier to draw the knee towards the face, towards the chest, reaching back, grab the top of the foot, big juicy stretch. We hold our breath, we're sure to fall. We smile, it makes it easier, relaxing our face, relaxing our spirit. Reach that top hand up towards the sky. Point those toes away from us. Unwind. Lower the back leg. Bringing the feet together, standing forward fold. Gently grasp our elbows, shaking side to side. We want a little bit more openness across our upper back. Let's take our feet. All right, lift up the left foot, draw the top of the left hand underneath onto the mat under the left foot, lift up the right foot, draw the top of the right hand to the mat under the right foot. The knees can be bent a lot. Can we relax the head? Then maybe we find space to lift the hips up even higher. Some people's legs will go straight, some won't. No big deal. If your feet are on top of your palms, can you wiggle your toes, massaging the inner wrists? This is great. You have carpal tunnel syndrome, tennis elbow, mouse elbow. Pausing for a moment in this inversion. Anytime our head is lower than our heart, it's technically an inversion, just like a headstand or a handstand. Take the weight off the right hand. Take the weight off the left hand. Draw our hands across the front of our shins, circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart center and release. Moving on, circling the hands up towards the sky, open the palms, reach even higher, bend at the knees, pivot at the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise, reaching down to the blocks of the ground, step back to plank, lower down slow, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. This time the right foot will float high, right foot comes forward. Step in the left foot so it's not that long of a stance. Start to straighten the front leg without locking the knee. We'll move into Uttanasana, pyramid pose. In pyramid pose, the hands can be on blocks. The head should be relaxed. It's a straight-legged pose. Feet are hip distance apart or a little bit wider. We're not on a tightrope like Warrior 2 here. Our hands can be on our hips. Our hands, maybe we grasp opposite elbows. If you like a little bit more, maybe you make a prayer pose. Some people can do prayer behind their back. It's funny, it used to be my practice, but when you quit a pose for a few months, your body adapts, so it's not as accessible to me. I'm going to grasp opposite elbows. Draw the right hip back in space. Super strong standing legs. Draw the crown of the head away from the hips, the shoulders away from the ears. You're welcome to just stay here and breathe, activating the legs. It's a lot. Or if you'd like to add a twist, since it's our twisty sequence this morning, take an inhale, and on the exhale, start to open our heart towards the right side. Breathing here for 2 or 3 breaths. Maybe every inhale, the right shoulder opens up, lifts higher. One more deep breath here. And on the exhale, unwind to that flat back. Take a deep inhale, draw the crown of the head away from the hips. Creating an openness on the exhale, twist towards the opposite side. Feeling wobbly like I just was, I'm going to separate my feet. Legs are strong towards straight without being waddled. Top shoulder opens up, another juicy twist. Massaging our inner organs, massaging our muscles. One more deep breath here. Unwind. Let the hands fall to the ground, to your blocks, to your shin. Draw your chin towards your chest. We've been in this pose for a little bit of time. The pose may open up for you. The twist may have just been a diversion to allow our hips, our glutes, our hamstrings and quads to open. Let's all bend the front knee, should feel really good. Place our hands on the ground or on our blocks. Stepping back, both feet to plank, push the ground away. Lower down slow. Elbows move towards our spine into up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. You could take a vinyasa here, or you can skip it, float the left foot up, left foot forward. Step in the right foot. Nice wide stance, but the toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. The head hangs heavy. The front leg starts to straighten. You can be on the low, middle, high setting of your block. For your variation of pyramid pose, draw your left hip back in space. Let the head hang heavy. Maybe the hands are on our hips. Maybe they're in a fancy mudra behind our back. Maybe we reach for opposite elbows. You can also, if you have a strap handy, just hold on to a strap behind your back. It may feel really good. Wherever you are, let's imagine we're flattening our back. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, the head away from the spine, the left hip back in space. Take a deep, deep inhale, and let's twist towards the left. Draw the left hip back in space. Push the ground away, should help our balance. 2 more deep breaths here. Next inhale, come back to that nice flat back. Take another inhale, open towards the opposite side. Right shoulder floats up towards the sky. Legs are towards straight. Crown of the head moving away from the hips. Shoulders away from the ears. Shoulder blades towards each other. Oh, created a little more space for another twist. Deep inhale. On the exhale, let's unwind. Reaching down either for the blocks, for the ground, or that shin. Relaxing the top of the head. 2 more deep breaths. Placing the hands on the ground or our blocks, stepping back to plank, top of the push-up. Lowering our knees to the ground, separate our knees, Big toes touch, melt our hearts back to child's pose, Balasana. First child's pose of the class. What happened? I couldn't hear you guys calling for this. Maybe this isn't your first child's pose of the class, and that's fine too. Melt our forehead to the ground, or maybe using our hands as a pillow. If our hips don't reach our heels, it's no big deal. The direction is more important than the distance in this or any pose. This feels so good on our hips. Let's really give them a treat. So coming up from child's pose through tabletop, up and back, downward facing dog. Float the right heel up towards the sky. Let's bring the right knee to the right thumb tip. If you have a block handy or a towel, I like to place it under my right glute. Point the left toes away from us. Crawl those toes away. Maybe we can extend that left leg. Without looking back at the left foot, can we point the left heel up towards the sky? If we're feeling any pressure on our knees at all, scissor the thighs towards each other. Maybe we can walk our hands back towards our hips. Using our fingertips like a kickstand, creating more space in our spine, reaching the crown of the head up. This feels like a lot on your lower back. Start to walk forward. Find that stillness where it feels good. Scissor the thighs, point that back heel towards the sky. And then when you're ready, walk our hands all the way, our arms, forearms in front of us. You can make a pillow, your forehead could go down to the mat. You could use your other block to rest your head on. Adho Mukha Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, half pigeon prep. Draw the right hip back in space. We're opening our hips, but the legs are still active. We'll be here another 30 seconds. It's a long time in a yoga pose. This is a big pose, delicious pose. Let's take advantage of it while we can. Just 15 more seconds. Slowly, let's walk our hands back towards our hips, tuck our back toes, float the back knee off the mat, finding our way to three-legged dog. If you'd like to take wild thing, since we're here, that's an option. If I fall in the pool, let me know. So if we're taking wild thing, we're going to come so the left foot is flat on the ground. Reach the right foot to the mat, onto the ball of the foot. So the left foot is flat, the leg is towards straight without locking the knee. The right leg is bent on the ball of the foot. Left shoulder above the left wrist crease, so we're using the bones of our arm as a scaffolding, taking the pressure off our muscles, reaching the top hand up, reaching the hips up. Maybe we look up towards the sky, up towards that hand, and reach back. Been so many twists, you've opened your side body in so many poses. This may feel really good. And bring the right hand back down to the mat. Maybe you take one more three-legged dog. Now let's float the left heel up towards the sky. The left knee comes forward to the left thumb tip. Extend the right foot back behind us. Point that back right heel up towards the sky. Scissor the thighs towards each other. Take one block or blanket underneath the left glute. Could feel really good. Modification here. May allow us to walk our hands closer towards our hips. Draw the left hip back in space, front psoas forward and down. Lift the shoulders up. Feel that extension, that space between each vertebra. When you're ready, slowly walk the hands forward, making a nice pillow. If there's any pressure at all on the knees, scissor the thighs together. Those muscles should take the pressure out of our knee joints. Draw the left hip back in space, right heel towards the sky. Forehead melts to our hand, to a blanket, to the mat. And we'll pause here for just 30 seconds. Slowly crawl forward or walk our hands underneath our shoulders, tuck our right toes, float our hips up and back, three-legged dog. If you did it on the opposite side, if you want to try it here, you're welcome to, or you could come down to your knees in child's pose, or you can take wild thing. The right foot comes flat to the mat. The left foot, ball of the foot reaches down to the ground. The right leg is towards straight. The hips are floating up towards the sky. Let's make sure our right shoulder is above the right wrist, using those bones as scaffold. Allow us to lift our hips even higher. Left hand reaches up. Turn our gaze towards the thumb. Hips are reaching up. Maybe that hand reaches forward. Head relaxes back. Take a couple deep breaths too. And when you're ready, unwind slowly, carefully. The left hand reaches back towards the mat, coming onto the ball of the right foot, stepping back to the downward facing dog. Coming back to our knees, child's pose. Knees are separated, big toes touch, heart melts towards the ground. Reach the hands out in front of us, lowering down to your expression of the pose today. Two more deep breaths here. Tucking our toes, moving through tabletop, up and back, downward facing dog. Let's place both forearms onto the ground, finding dolphin pose. Interlacing the fingers, left thumb on top, tuck the bottom right pinky finger in between the palms of the hands, creating a flat surface. We're going to push into the forearms a lot, walk our toes in towards our elbows. Now notice what happens when our shoulders are activated or not. If we're not pushing into the forearms, the hand sinks down, the shoulders aren't activated. Notice the difference when we push into the forearms, activate those shoulders, walk the toes in a little closer. Inhale the chin towards or to the thumb. Exhale the ears back towards our bicep. Inhale forward, exhale back. Sits bones moving up towards the sky. In your expression of dolphin push-ups, a little bit goes a long way. Maybe your chin comes in front of your knuckles, maybe not. Maybe you do one-legged dolphins. What? How many legs do a dolphin have? And there's jump switch opportunities for advanced yogis here. I'm going to skip that today. Coming down onto our knees when we've had enough. Sitting on our knees, sitting on our heels. If that's not accessible, you can always take that blanket or beach towel, wrap it up between your hamstring and your calf. Or you could use a block back there as well. Opening up our shins. I like to reach down in front of my knees and reach for the extra skin, pull it up and forward. Creates more opening on the shins, on the top of the feet. Maybe we lift one knee up, maybe the other, maybe both. Slowly let our knees come back to the ground. I like to have that block right in front of my knees. Put the hands in front of the block. One at a time, walk the knees onto the block, tuck all 10 toes, then start to sink my shoulders back above my hips. The block takes some of the weight off the balls of the feet, off the toes, may feel really good. If it doesn't, skip it. If you're here, maybe we flex all 5 of our right toes, then release. Flex all 5 of the left toes, then release. Flex all 10 toes, then release. Surging our toes, even the pinky toe with oxygen-rich blood, it deserves it. If you want to play with your balance, maybe we lift up one knee, maybe the opposite knee. Using our arms like the tightrope walker's balance pole, maybe both knees float up. The trick is getting our shoulders in alignment over the hips. Playing with our balance here. Bringing our hands to our sternum. Resting our thumbs on the sternum, sternum on the thumbs. I like to imagine that light that exists within each of us. Yoga doesn't create the light, it's there. I like to say that yoga helps take away the creds. It's dimming that light. Maybe through our practice, we create heat, warmth, energy, light that we can share with others. Imagine that light within you as we spin our hands around this light, around this light, around this light. Endeavoring to share that light, let it go into the world around us. Heat evaporates through our skin. That energy, that aura is coming out of us. It's just science as our body cools down after a strong workout. So if we can endeavor to share that energy, that heat, that warmth with others, how can that not be a great thing? Walk our hands in front of us, tap it out. Should feel really good. Great job, yogis. Let's come down onto our back for bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Take a variation here, but the first time we'll do a traditional bridge. Bend your knees a lot, feet are flat on the mat. You should be able to reach down with your middle finger and touch the back of your heel. We're going to push into the feet a lot so the hips come up, interlace the hands below our glutes, walk our triceps underneath us, push our forearms into the mat, push into the heels, then draw the heels towards our shoulders. Put a gentle bit of pressure in the back of the head so the chin moves away from the chest. And maybe you can activate the triceps, activate the forearms, activate the heels. Feel the glutes fire up, the hamstrings fire up. It's a lot. You may start shaking. It's okay. Just keep breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. Whenever we get stressed, challenged, we tend to hold our breath. So in yoga, we're just practicing to breathe. The breath is more important than this or any pose. We're going to release the hands, walk the elbows out, and slowly lower down from the top of the back to the middle of the back to the lower back to the sacrum. We're going to let our knees fall together, put our hands on our hip points, and gently rock those hip points into our thumbs, releasing the lumbar spine. What might feel really good right now is bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch in Baddha Konasana. The bottoms of the feet are touching. Just the gentle weight of our knees and our thighs are opening our hip joints. It should feel really nice. There's a variation of bridge pose. We keep our feet just like this. We push the bottoms of the feet into each other a lot. We feel the outer edge, the pinky toe edge of each foot pushing into the mat. We push our feet together, that edge into the mat a lot until our hips magically, not magically, float up. Interlace the hands below our glutes, walk the triceps under. Push the forearms into the ground, push the edge of our foot into the ground so the hips float up, maybe off of our hands. The knees are still opening, so the hips are opening as well as lifting up. Put that little nudge in the back of our head so our chin moves away from our chest. Activate those triceps. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Then release the hands, walk the elbows out, slowly lower down from the top of the back to the middle of the back, the lumbar spine to the sacrum. We're going to put our feet flat on the mat and let the knees knock out side to side. Windshield wiper the knees. Should feel great massage on our glutes. Feel that? Now we have options coming up. If you have a shoulder stand in your practice, we'll be moving to there next. If you don't, you're welcome to listen along. You can stay here in Baddha Konasana with the bottoms of the feet together. You could have your feet imagining they're going up the wall with the ankles above the knees above the hips. You could even, if it felt really good, push into your feet, lift up your hips, put your sacrum on a block, and have your feet up towards the ceiling. If you'd like to take shoulder stand and you have a blanket or a towel, I recommend folding that over, putting your shoulder blades along the top of the towel, so we're maintaining the curve in the cervical spine here at the top of our neck, with the shoulders on the towel, your back on the towel, hands are out pushing into the mat, feet come up, reach for our lumbar spine, walk our elbows in, don't turn your head side to side, push into the back of your head, pausing, breathing. There's leg variations here. Maybe you can walk your hands a little bit closer towards the ground on your back, which is actually up your back, but it's moving down. There's leg variations. You can walk the legs. You could straddle the legs. Push the toes away. Maybe you bring the bottoms of the feet together, make a fancy diamond. And if you have plow in your practice, you're welcome to take plow here. Extend the fingertips back away from you. Arms are flat on the ground. Toes are moving back beyond your head. Don't turn your head side to side. Some people's toes will go right to the ground. If it's not quite accessible, you may find more extension by separating your feet, then reaching your toes towards the ground. If you're here, activate the pose by lifting the hamstrings up. Heels are moving away, hamstrings up, just like in our earlier poses, standing poses. Wherever you are is fine, even if your feet don't touch the ground. Attempt to straighten the legs, lift the hamstrings up, toes point towards the knee. Come out of the pose, we reach for our glutes, our sacrum. We slowly, slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly breathing. Coming out of the pose with our hands under our hamstrings, we may find ourselves in Navasana. In Navasana, your feet can be on the ground. Legs can be bent, hands are behind the hamstrings. Lift the sternum up. Play with our balance. Maybe we straighten one leg, maybe we straighten the other leg, maybe we straighten both legs. If both legs are straightened, if we inner rotate the thighs by imagining the inner thighs are moving away from us, it almost gives us something to hold on to lift the legs even higher, even straighter. Wherever you are in Navasana is fine. Let's make peace fingers. For Yogi toe lock, draw your feet in. Take Yogi toe lock around our big toes. Playing with our balance. You've probably heard me say it before. In yoga, we're not learning to balance. We're learning to fall and smile and fall and breathe. We know there'll be challenges in our life. Can we learn to smile, to breathe through these challenges, that we come out brighter, stronger. Let's bring the bottoms of both feet together. Baddha Konasana, one more time. Gently flutter the knees up and down. Should feel really good. Find stillness. Gently bring our hands under the knees, extending the legs out in front of us. Take Janu Shirsasana. Extend the left leg out. Bend the right leg. Pull the fleshy part of our glutes away from us. facing our hips. We're going to inhale, reach up, and on the exhale, turn towards that extended leg, reaching the hands away from us, away from us, away from us, then allowing the nose to get closer towards that knee. 2 more deep breaths here. Another great place if you wanted to use a strap behind your foot, give you something to hold on to. Great way to make the pose more accessible. Let's pick up the right foot over the left thigh for a seated twist. Take our right elbow on the inside of our right thigh and twist towards the back. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, open. It's been a very twisty sequence today. Like I said, let's all drink a lot of water after this class. 2 more deep breaths here. Unwind the opposite direction. Walk the right hand behind us. Give that right thigh a hug with the left hand. Unwind through center, extend the right leg out, bend the left leg. Square your shoulders to your hips. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, turn towards that extended leg. Reach long towards the feet. Feel free to use a strap. Inhale, the chest comes up. Exhale, the crown of the head moves forward, 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 forward. Two more deep breaths here. The head's moving towards the feet. Maybe the nose gets closer to the knee, to the thigh, to the shin. Inhale, slide our hands up towards our hips. Lift up the left foot over the right thigh. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left. Last deep breath here. Inhale, we'll unwind. Taking the counter twist. Either way is fine. Extending our feet to the end of the mat. Grasping the back of our hamstring, slowly lower down onto our back, drawing the knees into our chest, Uttanasana. Gently rock our hips side to side. If there's anything else you'd like to take to finish your practice, maybe we take Happy Baby here. Reach for the outer edges of our feet. The arms are inside of our thighs. We tend to draw our lumbar spine off the ground here, so let's all point our heels away from us until we feel that connection of the lumbar spine onto the mat. Then float the feet up. Feel the difference. Take a couple deep breaths here. If you notice your lumbar is starting to rise again, all you have to do, point the heels away from you, feel that connection, that flattening of our lower back on the mat. Then float the feet up. Draw the feet a little closer so the knees move towards that mat. Draw the knees in tight one more time. Lift the back of our head up, our knees towards our nose. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, extend our legs long, lower down slowly. Rock and roll the heels side to side as we move into Shavasana, the final pose, the most important pose of your practice. You've done all the work. This is where your body will gain all the benefits. Rock and roll the heels side to side. Maybe walk our shoulder blades closer towards each other so our heart lifts towards the sky. Our palms are down, open to the sky by our hips, a comfortable distance. Gentle push the back of the head into the mat. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Let's open our mouth inside out. Gently move our jaw side to side. Softly close our lips. Take the tip of our tongue and push it to the roof of our mouth right behind our top 2 feet. Then let it relax. Wiggle our nose. Flutter our eyelids without opening the eyes. Gently furrow and unfurl the brow. One more time, push the back of the head so the chin floats up. Notice all the parts of the body connected to the ground below us. Give them permission to sink, to relax, to let go into Shavasana. We'll be here for 2 minutes, and I'll guide you out. Slowly, let's start to deepen our breath. Bring some movement to your fingers, to your toes. Gently roll your wrists and ankles. Let's inhale both hands to the ground, but on behind our head. Pointing our toes, pointing our fingertips. Feeling as tall, as long as you've ever felt. Slowly bend each leg so the feet are flat onto the mat below your knees. Roll over onto your right side using your right bicep as a pillow. Pause here for a couple deep breaths. Place your left hand flat onto the ground in front of your belly. Close your eyes, let your chin fall to your chest as you slowly push yourself up into a seated position. Your chin is the last thing to rise as your shoulders are in alignment above your hips. Bring your hands to your heart center. Put your thumbs on your sternum. Inhale up with pride, feel the crown of the head float up. Notice the space between each vertebrae as you're very tall and light. Exhale humbly, our chin towards our heart. Imagine that light burning within each of us, burning brighter through our yoga practice. Endeavor to share that light with yourself, being kind, generous, and forgiving to you, so that we can learn through our practice to be kind, generous, and forgiving to family and friends, and ultimately kind, generous, forgiving to complete strangers in this world around us. We are all connected. We'll seal our practice with one Om. Inhale. Om. Blink your eyes open. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. I'm so happy that you were here today. Hope you enjoyed this practice. Take it with you throughout your day. And hopefully we'll see you soon. If you're enjoying these practices on the Okaiyoga YouTube channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much.